tardes a todos y todas. Es un gran gusto de poder estar aquí con ustedes hoy día. And thank you to the Cuban American Bar Association for hosting us this afternoon. So let me start by saying I know there are many views, many histories, many backgrounds in this room today. I'm fortunate and proud to represent the Bureau for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, specifically at this event, because I can confidently say that what brings us together is that we all share the commitment to fighting for and advocating for the human rights and fundamental freedoms of the Cuban people. At the Department of State, it is not just my Bureau's role to advocate for human rights. It is incumbent on every official in every bureau to make human rights part of our work. The same is true of broader society. Even if you don't work full-time on human rights, you have a role to play in advocating for those rights, fundamental freedoms, and unjustly detained political prisoners. This is the cornerstone of the United States foreign policy toward Cuba, and I'm honored to stand in front of you, the fighters, the activists, the policymakers, the truth tellers, the influencers, all dedicated to seeing a Cuba where people are free to exercise their rights without fear of harassment, retribution, or imprisonment. And I know all of you, like myself, have been following the recent protests in Cuba, in which brave citizens peacefully called upon their government to provide the most basic of human necessities, food, electricity, and freedom. And like you all, I was reminded of the historic July 11, 2021 protests for which an estimated 700 individuals remain unjustly detained today. Civil society estimates there are approximately 1,000 unjustly detained political prisoners overall in Cuba. These include around 100 women, among them 5 members of the famed Damas de Blanco and other members of political, civil, and human rights organizations. And as we also know, women have always held a leading role in protests on the island, either visibly in public or behind the scenes from their homes. We also know that women often suffer disproportionately from repressive government tactics. Reports describe how prisoners are subjected to mistreatment, including isolation, denial of visits by family members, and lack of access to health care. For women, there is the added risk of facing gender-based violence, including sexual abuse while detained. Women are often the sole caretakers in their homes, and their detainment has a significant impact on those who depend on their care. The United States is closely tracking the Cuban government's response to the latest protests and stands ready to advocate for all individuals who may face repercussions for exercising their fundamental freedoms, including those of expression and peaceful assembly. Now, we do this in many ways. We raise international awareness around the plight of political prisoners and their families, including individuals like Jose Daniel Ferrer and Michael Orsogo Castillo. Through our Without Just Cause Global Political Prisoner Campaign, we advocate for their release and countless others like them who have been unjustly detained for exercising their fundamental freedoms. Similarly, we elevate the stories and causes of activists such as Marta Beltrán Roque, a former political prisoner and a leading proponent of human rights and religious freedom in Cuba, whom we honored with the Secretary's 2024 International Women of Courage Award in early March. We also promote accountability for abuses through various sanctions and visa restriction actions. For example, this administration imposed global Magnitsky sanctions against Cuban officials and security forces in connection with serious human rights abuses related to the July 11 protests. The Department of State also announced it was taking steps to impose visa restrictions on Cuban officials who had enabled unjust detentions and sham trials of hundreds of peaceful July 11 protesters who are now political prisoners. My Bureau, DRL, also funds foreign assistance programs to support civil society-led documentation and advocacy efforts, including for these political prisoners. So today is a testament to the collaboration between the department and the Cuban community. And as we hear about and honor the brave women who have experienced firsthand the repressive brutality of the Cuban regime, I hope you will all remember that we are your ally in advocating for them and all unjustly detained political prisoners and for all the Cuban people. So I look forward to our continued partnership, and thank you again, y muchas gracias.